Is Duolingo still viable in 2026 after the AI revolution? I mean, this is when Duolingo was created, and this is where we are right now. There are so many language learning apps that use AI to teach languages now. For the past couple of years, I've learned multiple languages where I actually talk to strangers using those languages, and by the end of this video, I'm gonna give you my exact method on how to use AI as a personal tutor where I can have it create an unlimited amount of conversations and scenarios for me to practice conversations with it and also correct my mistakes. Now, don't get me wrong, Duolingo is great, but if you're only using something like Duolingo, you could be learning in months what takes others years. Now, let me show you what Duolingo is able to cover and what it's not able to cover. You see, there's 6 levels of learning any language, and I truly believe that the last level is what separates a language learner from someone who's able to engage with strangers in their own native language. But let's check out the first level, and that is understanding. When you listen to a conversation, how many things are you able to understand from that conversation? And Duolingo is great for that. There's so many listening exercises that enable you to understand what the other person is speaking. And by the way, I say this without receiving any money from Duolingo. This is not sponsored by Duolingo. But that is just the first level. The second level is expression. You're done with actually understanding and not being able to speak, but now how much output, how much are you able to express? So this includes speaking and writing. Now Duolingo is good enough for this. There are a lot of sentences structures that you're able to utilize when you want to actually talk. So we're done with understanding and expression, but level 3 is your core knowledge and vocabulary. If you want to describe what a table is, or a tree, or a couch, this is in my opinion one of the easiest parts about learning a language. I found AirLearn to be better than Duolingo in this area. They really simplify learning vocabulary through their pictures and their quizzes and tests. It's very hard not to learn new words fast with AirLearn. Now let's move one level higher, and it's the cultural and contextual layer. This is where we start to see the separation between a normal average language learner and someone who's actually going to interact with people and not be offensive to them. Things like the history of a language or the country of that language and where a word originated from or how it's used in a respectful manner in that specific place. And this is again where I found AirLearn to be better than Duolingo. They don't just stick to teaching you a language, but also the context behind how you can use that language. If you're planning to interact with people, you're gonna need this. Now, we're coming close to the most powerful level that you can implement by far. But before that, let's talk about motivation and lifestyle. This is where I think Duolingo just blows AirLearn out of the park. They have so many incentives to keep you learning a language to motivate you. They have the social aspect where you can compare yourself to your friends. They have the daily streak. They have XP multipliers. They have leaderboards. This aspect can be greatly overlooked because so many people decide to start a language only to quit 7 days later. But Duolingo actually gamifies everything for you. They use the same system that social media apps and game apps use to hack your dopamine, but they use it to actually push you to learn the language that you want to learn. But let's talk about the lifestyle aspect. If you want to become fluent in a language, if you want to speak to strangers in their language, you gotta integrate the language in your lifestyle. You have to utilize the power of immersion. Have you ever wondered how some people go to countries and pick up the language without ever using something like Duolingo or an app, and they can actually talk to people in their language? It's because when they're surrounded by a language, their brain naturally adapts by hearing conversations and expressions. I lived in an Arabic-speaking country my entire life, and the way I was able to learn English is through immersion. I was listening to American songs and TVs and movie shows in English. Now let's move to the last and most important level, which is practice and conversation. This is a game changer in the language learning process. You can now use AI to create a language learning tutor that will talk to you and help you practice and create an unlimited amount of scenarios and conversations. And not only that, it'll give you personalized feedback and correct your mistakes based on what you say to it. So this is not like following a pre-created plan or learning random sentences. This is crazy. I'll showcase this now. And I'm going to show you exactly how I do it step by step.
First things first, let me know what level you're at, like your CEFR level or how far along you are in something like Duolingo. Once I know that, we'll jump into a scenario and you'll hear a Russian character start talking.
I have reached section 3, unit 7 in Duolingo.
So it sounds like you're somewhere around an early intermediate level, which is great. We'll keep things at a nice conversational pace for that level. So this time, let's imagine you're taking a taxi in a Russian-speaking city. I'll be the taxi driver. We'll keep it at a similar level, so you'll get a nice, comfortable challenge. And now switching into character again. Здравствуйте, куда вас отвезти сегодня?
Здравствуйте, иду на Красная площадь.
Отлично. На Красную площадь, без проблем. Поехали. You're doing really well. Your request was clear and it was exactly how you'd ask for a ride. Now let's keep going in Russian. Это займет примерно 10 минут. Удобно?
What does удобно mean?
So удобно comes from the word meaning comfortable or convenient. In this context, I was just asking, is that convenient for you or is that okay for you? So the sentence was, it'll take about 10 minutes. Is that all right? And now let's jump right back into Russian. Да, это удобно для вас.
How can I reply to this sentence?
In this situation, you could say something like "Да, это удобно," which means yes, that's convenient, or yes, that works for me. So go ahead and say "Да, это удобно," and then we'll continue the conversation from there.
Да, это удобно.
Отлично. Тогда поехали. Мы скоро будем на месте. That was perfect. You responded just the right way, and everything flowed naturally. I'll have the driver chat with you some more in Russian. Ну что ж, пока едем, если хотите, могу рассказать вам немного о Москве или о достопримечательностях рядом с Красной площадью. Вам интересно?
What did you just say?
I'll break it down for you. So the driver was basically saying, well, while we're driving, if you want, I can tell you a little bit about Moscow or about the sites near Red Square. Are you interested? So that was the gist. Now you can go ahead and respond in Russian however you like, and we'll keep rolling from there.
Да, я был в Москве раньше, но я иду здесь в зимой.
Понимаю. Зимой Москва особенно красивая. Я расскажу вам немного о зимних праздниках и что можно посмотреть рядом с площадью. You're doing great. You just said that you've been to Moscow before, but you want to visit in the winter, and that's a lovely detail. So we keep chatting in Russian, and you're doing a fantastic job following along. Let's continue.
Are there any better ways for me to have said that sentence?
Absolutely. We can fine-tune it a bit. You did really well, and what you said was completely understandable, but if you want a slightly more natural phrasing, you could say something like «Да, я уже бывал в Москве, но зимой еще не был». That would mean, yes, I've been to Moscow before, but I haven't been here in winter yet. So just a little bit of a smoother tweak, but honestly, your original sentence was great too. Keep it up.
Да, я уже бывал в Москве, но зимой еще не был.
Отлично. Это прозвучало очень естественно. That was a really nice, natural way to put it. And there we go. You're doing a fantastic job, and I hope this was a fun little scenario for you.
Hell yeah.
Now, there's an unlimited amount of ways you can implement this, but since ChatGPT is the most popular LLM, that's what I'm going to go with. And instead of giving you the link to my custom ChatGPT tutor, you'll find in the description of this video the exact prompt that I used to create this AI tutor. All you have to do is to replace Russian with the language that you want to learn. And the nice thing is that you can actually replace the English and choose whatever native language you want your tutor to speak. So you don't have to be able to speak English to learn a new language. So to answer the question of this video, is Duolingo cooked? I personally believe that you'll always need something to get you to the basic to intermediate level, whether it's school, textbook, online classes, or a language learning app. But now there's something that will get us from intermediate to professional, and that's why I believe this is a game changer. Check out my other language challenges, and I'll see you in the next video.